some major news coming out of La Familia.
Dude, let me tell you
we got hinted, right, by 20 that, well, there's going to be some guys who didn't play at Kentucky, and we're like, all right, well, they probably played elsewhere, maybe.
They had a DJ Burns from Murray State, and I was like,
okay, that makes sense. Guys from other schools who don't have their own alumni team.
Who in the hell is coming from Murray State? Oh, but he's current player. Yeah,
he's current player. But then, to anybody who's like probably above the age of maybe 23 and doesn't know who this guy is, I'm sorry.
Literally my hero.
Yeah, I watched this guy every day growing up, so the interview is going to be awesome.
Big Blue Nation, welcome back to another episode of the Bluegrass Breakdown. I'm joined by my man Israel Schill. We missed a week last week.
We did. It happens.
Summer's been nice. It's been cool. But hey, we're back. Week 3 now.
Yeah,
it's
Hopefully
going.
Hopefully everybody watching had a good 4th of July. Safe 4th of July.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully.
I didn't.
You didn't?
I wasn't safe.
I was. I'm always safe.
But I'm here. You're
here, man.
Starting off today's episode, we really got to look in at Jasper Johnson, who just won some gold with Team USA over in Switzerland. That just blew my mind, Switzerland. We even saw Mark Pope went and watched him play.
Yeah, man.
We'll throw that picture up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Shout out Mark Pope for going over there.
It's a long flight.
Yeah.
And we're like, what did he post the picture? It was like 14 hours or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Like 13 or 12, I'm pretty sure is what the thing said.
Man, that's a long flight, yeah.
But talking about his play, he put in some valuable minutes for the squad.
He did.
15 minutes a game, averaging 8 points a game. And really, I think that's a perfect grasp for, like, half of his production at Kentucky.
Yeah.
Because I can assume, just based off of, like, how Rob Dillingham was treated here, because that's kind of, like, what I associate Jasper with in my head is another Rob Dillingham. I can picture him playing to the upwards of 30 minutes a game, and I could also see if this metric, correlates to college basketball, that he could be averaging 16 points a game, playing 30 minutes a game. So I think it was really cool to get a glimpse at Jasper playing in a more competitive field and, get a little exclusive look at what he's bringing to Kentucky for his freshman year.
Yeah, it's nice. Obviously you see a lot of videos and, clips and stats. You get a lot of stats from his AAU time in high school. But when you think about a guy of his age coming up to finally start playing in that really highly competitive ball, you think about Team USA. You look at his stats here, and they're good. They're good, but the way I look at it is he only shot the ball 6 times a game. Yeah. So, 8 points on 6 shots is pretty efficient. But also, he shot 40% from 3. He stole the ball basically once every single game pretty consistently. Like, he's out there not, just being a kind of, a loose body getting cardio on the floor. You can tell he's putting in an impact with the short amount of time he's got there. But that also goes to show maybe if, 15, 16 minutes that he gets at Kentucky, he puts up 8 shots. That's going to get you more points because Jasper Johnson's going to make his shots at the end of the day. And if he gets into a slump, it's not going to be bad. I mean, the most shots we saw him take was against New Zealand in the semifinals. Went 5 for 11, shooting the field goal, 3 for 7 from 3. I mean, that's not bad. You know what I mean? That's not bad.
I like the splits.
Yeah.
When I look at him, because if he has more volume at the free throw line, we can expect him to be over 80%. And then you have 57 and 41 from the field and from 3. I mean, it looks great on paper.
Yeah, and of course it's a very short amount of games, but you have to think about it's still, at the end of the day, high competition against the best guys his age in the world.
Right.
So it's regardless still impressive.
And, I know we're not the guys to be promoting Louisville or making them look good.
Yeah.
But while we're on Team USA, we got to mention Michael Brown because, in my personal opinion, he was – and really, I mean, everyone in the country was probably thinking the same thing, but he deserved MVP, man. He deserved it. He averaged 15 points to go along with 2 rebounds and 6 assists. Apparently, this guy is Steph Curry and LeBron together. I guess that's what the Louisville fans expect us to expect of him this upcoming season.
I mean, he's 6'3", so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're getting LeBron.
I heard Steph Curry a lot.
Steph Curry makes
I know
more
Tristan
sense,
said,
I think.
People were calling him Steph Curry, and I'm like, gosh, that's a crazy comparison.
Yeah, that's a tall task to live up to.
But regardless of what delusional Louisville fans have to say about their incoming guys, I think he had an amazing little duo going there with Jasper. And, man, I mean, they got gold, and that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Only time we'll see a Kentucky Wildcat and a Louisville Cardinal playing together for the better good of America, for America.
For America. And I guess now Jasper finally going to be heading back over here, and obviously he's from the area, but with some hardware, and he's going to finally be starting to get into practices and playing with the team and kind of turn on his blinders from everything else and lock into Lexington and lock into Kentucky. And I think not just us, but other guys are excited about it.
Oh, yeah. So we had a great opportunity today to talk to Jayden Quaintance and Cam Williams. And honestly, we're talking about guys like Trent Noah keeping up with Cam in the three-point contest.
Yeah.
We'll throw the video up, but Malachi hitting that buzzer beater today in practice.
Cam said it was luck. I will say that. Cam seemed a little heated. He seemed a little heated. He didn't get the shoes, but I mean, it was a heave. It was a heave for sure.
There's Kobe, Venice Beach, shoes. Go get a win. Okay, winners get them today. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go.
But what they had to say about this season and how the chemistry is coming together was really interesting. I mean, you got to talk more to Jayden. I spent the time with Cam, but Cam seemed so locked in and so ready, and he was just kind of looking at it so they asked him, who's the biggest dog? Who's looking like they're going to be the guy or the two guys? Yeah, he said all of them, who are going to come up and kind of play outwards and more intense when the team needs it. And he said all of them, and I think that's a really cool thing to hear. And obviously you're going to hear it because they media training or whatever, but you can look at this pretty seriously.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the way here, and I mean, we're mentioning Jasper hasn't even practiced yet with the team, or maybe he did early on, but like full go, scrimmages and everything. Jasper hasn't been there. You still have Yelovich coming on the way too, and these are two guys that are absolute dogs. You're mentioning is he a 19-year-old, 18-year-old?
Cam Williams, 19?
No. Or Jasper.
Jasper? Oh, I think he's only 18.
Yeah, so you got a young kid with Jasper who's already won USA Gold, and he's coming to practice with the team, and then you're going to bring in a 21-year-old freshman who led the ABA in rebounding, and it's like Cam Williams is right. There's literally everybody on this roster could play, and I know we're here to talk more about what Cam and JQ told us today, but man, like someone's gonna get the bud, and they're gonna have to sit on the bench and probably not play a lot when they could probably start at another D1 school. Talking about a guy like Reese Potter, and I think we were really considering that Malachi, Trent, and Colin could be the guys who don't get the deserved minutes, And
it's a
crazy world.
It's really hard, though, is because kind of all the way throughout the whole process of Pope putting together this team in the early stages of the transfer portal, we saw, all right, here's 3 or 4 guys. All right, this looks like a cool starting 5. All right, here's a few extra guys. These guys are going on the bench. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, all right, here's 2 more guys. Here's 2 more guys.
Here's Braden Hawthorne on top of it.
And it's like, all right, like I'm not saying we don't need all this, but that's a lot of talent and a lot of skill to have on this roster. And you got to find a way to divide it.
And what I said to you, right, like you can be really bad, but like there's a point where you could be too good. And you don't know like what pot to dip your hand into because, I'll give Mark Pope props for picking up all the recruits he did, but also right on top of that, it's like, how do you balance everyone? How do you make everyone happy? Who would buy in? Because I feel like Colin and Trent are guys that would be able to understand, like, oh yeah, like for the greater good, we'll take a dip in minutes. But then also, what if he decides to play literally everybody because he could?
Yeah.
And, you know, you have some guys who you're going to be like, oh, they deserve more minutes, they deserve less, and everyone's just in this big mess from the bench. So it's a crazy world. But what Cam was alluding to with everybody being dogs on this team, it's very true. Unfortunately, I didn't like it. JQ wouldn't budge on the timeline.
Yeah.
But he looks good. You know, he looks like he's comfortable. He doesn't feel like he's in pain. He was talking about how
he walked right up in that.
Yeah,
he walked right up in that room, no problem, man. I was like, get this guy on the court, dude. He can hoop right now. You know what I mean?
But no timeline for when he's being full contact in practice or anything like that. But from the way he's talking, he seems to be progressing. He seems to be trusting the coaches. He seems to be in this world where he's almost at the point where he's like, all right, dude, can I play now? Yeah. And that's
seems
a good
to be
sign.
Itching to get back on
and
the
that's
court.
a good sign. Everybody knows he's like that. A good little piece that I took from him, and I didn't really process it until he said it, but I thought it was so cool to hear how he talked about playing the next level, because just in a couple days, he's going to be turning 18 years old, still 17, and a sophomore in college.
Has a full year of college basketball under his belt at 17 years old.
He's skipped a year of high school and always been playing AAU since he's over 10 years old. And he said, I've been playing grown men my whole life. This is nothing new. And I kind of sat back and thought, I was like, if you really think about it, he's probably been playing grown men now for 3 or 4 years, and it's like,
yeah, I mean, being younger than everybody else in that who you're playing against for your whole life, basically.
And I think that's why, like, you know, something clicked in my brain, like, oh, this is why they have him so high on everything. Yeah. Because I haven't seen him, you know, play really. And it's just like, man, that's why some mock drafts have this man going number 1, and he's going to play, you know, going to miss a fourth of the season for Kentucky potentially. So it's like Jayden has me intrigued to see what he does when he comes back from injury, because he's such a young, goofy, and like charismatic kid. Yeah,
he's got a lot of life to him.
But I got a little glimpse of that fire, and I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
So I guess we could transition from there, moving on to our next little section here. Just going to touch a little bit on some of the former guys on the team with Mark Pope's first season who have made their way into the NBA, maybe not in the most traditional sense of getting drafted, but they're there.
Yeah, we'll shout out Kobe and Amari going to the Suns. Yeah, and the Celtics got Amari.
Big Celtics guy. I'm really happy to have Amari.
Go buy the jersey.
I want the jersey.
Number 77.
I mean, it's nothing cooler than a random number on a basketball jersey. You know what I mean?
But yeah, shout out to them for getting drafted in the second round there. But hey, we got Lamont Butler, Andrew Carr, and then it took a little bit. Jax Robb got his deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. If I do believe, so Lamont signed a 2-way with the Atlanta Hawks.
Yes, he did.
And then the 2 deals that Andrew Carr signed, respectively, with their teams are Exhibit 10 contracts.
Yes.
And what that means technically is that their minimum salary is not guaranteed, and it's a G League deal that they kind of have to prove their way and work their way up through Summer League and then also the G League season. Yeah. So that's what I got from that, which is fine, because if Andrew Carr, who's played 4 years of ACC ball and a year of SEC ball, is going to go out there and has to grind a little bit, I mean, I'm not scared that Andrew Carr can do that.
I'm not worried about any of these 3 guys having to grind it out for a position. If you think about the guys who are out there, I mean, in my mind, I think, all right, Lamont Butler has to go out there and fight for a position, but he was on, what was it, like 9 seed San Diego State going to the Final Four, you know what I mean, losing the national championship game. Like, these are guys who already have that mentality of, like, I will do whatever it takes to be where I need to be.
And you have Jackson, too, with that fire, dude.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I know so many people were so low on Jackson saying, you know, well, so low on him because of the position he was in.
Yeah.
But then they were defending it, well, if he would have not been hurt and blah, 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 he could have been a lottery pick. And I completely agree.
Saying, yeah.
And it's just like he was in this world where he's getting picked up a couple days after the draft.
Yeah.
And now you're telling him, hey, you got a chance. Go run with it. I expect him to run a marathon like he's Usain Bolt.
Exactly.
And, you know, everyone has a good opportunity from last year's team that got picked up in the NBA. So congratulations to them. Really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they pan out. Obviously, it's always cool to see more Wildcats in the NBA already being at that top level of having the most, you know, I don't know, hundreds all time.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you meant right now. I was like, man.
I bet I can name 50 in the NBA right now, honestly.
All right, well,
or
I don't know if
30.
I don't know if we need to do that for all these people here watching, but I believe you, man. I trust you. Don't worry.
I'll make a list. I'll post it on Twitter.
We'll post it on Twitter.
Yeah.
All right. You heard it here first, folks. Kai knows everybody from Kentucky who's ever played in the NBA.
I do not. There's some guys like Tyler Eulis who I believe are out of the league now. And
he's out of the league.
I think Scalabicier is out of the league now. And there's like those little guys you can name.
Eric
maybe,
Bledsoe.
But Bledsoe's gone. Brandon Knight's gone.
Yeah.
So maybe not as much as I'm thinking. But hey, the legends are still there. You still got AD, man.
Yeah, now they got 5 more to try and create some more legends. So.
Let's go off topic. AD got a retina surgery.
AD,
was bro blind all season?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about on the way here. I read that tweet from Shams. I'm like, AD had a surgery on a retinal detachment. That means he can't see.
I thought it was a surgery on what he went out.
Yeah,
was already injured with.
Yeah,
and then bro can't see and walk. No. Like, my God.
I mean, leave it. With all due respect, leave it to Anthony
to
be hurt everywhere at once.
The greatest college freshman of all time. We'll leave it there. We're talking about freshmen. You know, we were going right into it, but Matt Ponatoski just committed to Kentucky, a 4-star quarterback, playing baseball as well. And, you know, going back in my brain, I can't really think of there being a prominent dual sport athlete ever at Kentucky. I don't know if you can think of one, but I can't.
No, nothing.
And
I'm sure somebody will figure one out for us.
Someone will bully
like
us
the 20s.
Tell us we don't know ball.
Yeah, exactly.
But
whatever, man.
It's whatever, man.
Yeah.
This kid is insane. We're talking about Mr. Ohio, Gatorade Player of the Year, Max Preps Player of the Year. Literally, the list goes on.
I mean, yeah, he's got everything.
Listen to this guy's numbers. In 16 games, 4,217 passing yards, 57 passing touchdowns, and you'd think, oh, okay, but he's throwing a lot. He must turn the ball over a lot. Nah, dude. 3 interceptions and
picks.
70% completion percentage.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Kid's insane,
That's
dude.
ridiculous. I mean, I went back a little bit because I was interested, well, has he always been this much of a dog? You go back and look at his stats in 2022. He threw 8 total passes, completed 7, a touchdown and an interception, and that's about all he saw for the whole year.
Right.
Move up to his year after that. It's looking, all right, this guy's pretty good. But even then, you know, he threw 29 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
Still good,
Still good, but not amazing. This season, I mean, 408 attempts for 282 completions and 57 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions.
Yeah, this kid's an insane get from Mark Stoops and the company. I mean, I think we're worried, right, about like landing someone at a caliber like this. I think a lot of people, when Vince left, thought the recruiting would dip.
Yeah.
And then everyone was bullying Stoops about being a 3-star demon, which he is.
Yes, he is.
Every single 2026 recruit has been a 3-star or, you know, a variant of a 3-star on one website and a 4 on the other.
Yep.
But, man, like, still, I believe in this 26 class, and you're going to have Matt leading it at quarterback. They filled every little hole. Like, I know we were talking earlier, like, they have O-linemen, they have running backs. Now they got their guy at QB who's like, you know, say Cutter and him are together.
At least giving a good competition with Cutter.
He's going to have, like, he's a guy that can compete and start.
Yep.
And then they've brought in their receivers. They've brought in DBs and athletes on defense, D-linemen. This 26 team is real, and I know we got this season. I got a lot of people saying 3 wins,
3 and 9.
Yeah, but
2 and 10.
give them a year, and I promise they'll see how motivated Mark Stoops and this squad is for 2026.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, when Matt puts that helmet on, Kentucky is like flipped over.
Well,
brand new program.
Don't forget about
I'm putting high standards on this guy.
Don't forget about when he picks up the bat, though. Because I'm looking at some of his baseball stuff here. He committed to play baseball at Mizzou as an 8th grader before deciding to open up his recruitment and also explore football. So he kind of was like, you know what, I might be good at this whole football thing too. He was ranked as a number 16 high school baseball prospect by Baseball America and the number 1 recruit in Ohio. And he can throw 97 on the mound. As a junior, hit 429 with 29 RBIs and 10 stolen bases.
Yeah. So what I believe is that he's a shortstop though.
Yeah.
And Tyler Bell's there though. So I'm kind of wondering. I'm kind of wondering if he's going to be a utility guy or if he's like truly going to be one of those guys that's like just plugged in the infield and can play second or third base.
I'm also kind of intrigued to see if maybe early on once he gets here, one of these sides kind of takes off more than the other. And if he decides, all right, well, I might be the starting quarterback next year, or I might go to the league if I keep playing baseball here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I'm interested to see if he kind of decides to pick one or the other.
Yeah. Well, I would think he wouldn't commit to play both.
Yeah.
If the plan isn't to play both.
Of course.
But he gives
like
me
what's his name? Travis Hunter, man.
Oh yeah.
Signing the 2 contracts, whatever.
Yeah. But at least, this guy is playing 2 different collegiate sports with you could argue the baseball team is way better than the football team. I think most people would probably agree with that.
I would have to agree.
And if he doesn't get playing time somewhere else and maybe he's like guaranteed starter for the football team and not the baseball team, who knows, right? I have no idea what's going to happen. But he also has given me great vibes where he could be one of those freshmen who just like is, one and done level or, is too good for college. And he's on that, whole little wavelength from what I'm seeing. I mean, this dude is posing in front of a firework in a blue car.
Yeah, that picture is cool, man. We'll throw that up real quick. Throw that out. That was pretty cool.
Matt is doing things big already, and you're seeing big stats, big recruitment parties, and everything with him seems major. So I expect his collegiate career to be a little bit major too.
Yeah. So speaking of major, I like rolling off these things that you do what I mean. You throw some.
Don't look at me like that.
Speaking of major, we will move on to our last segment here. Some major news coming out of La Familia,
dude. Let me tell you,
we got hinted right by 20 that there's gonna be some guys who didn't play at Kentucky, and we're like, all right, well they probably played elsewhere, maybe
they had a DJ Burns from Murray State. And I was like,
okay, that makes sense. Guys from other schools who don't have their own alumni team.
Who in the hell is coming from Murray State? Oh, but he's current player. Yeah,
he's current player. But then, to anybody who's like probably above the age of maybe 23 and doesn't know who this guy is, I'm sorry.
Literally my hero.
Yeah, I watched this guy every day growing up, so the interview is going to be awesome.
Man, Jasper the Laser joined La Familia.
Gonna also throw a pic here for the people who don't know who that is. But basically, he's a YouTuber with millions of followers, subscribers across the platforms. But he was always basing his content on basketball. Yeah. And, as he got a little more popular, getting a little more traction on social media, he started hooping with some pros and other guys and doing these, little NBA things here and there. And
I think for me, it was cool because, like, personally, I've seen myself grow because I remember playing the 2K video game, and then now I'm going to see guys that are going to be in the 2K video game at press conferences. Yeah. And you can see it leading up in a career. I think back to Jesser, watching him, in a small little house living with his mom playing 2K. And then he transformed it into an empire. He started 2 Hype with other crazy influencers and YouTubers. Yep. Of course, that doesn't exist still now because of other stuff. Yeah. But this guy has been on a trajectory of like Bitcoin in 2022, dude. And it's like, he's so massively famous in the basketball realm. And
I mean, NBA guys, like, they will know who he is, not because of the way he plays basketball, but because they probably watched him growing up.
Yeah, you got, well, I know he's done stuff with James Harden.
Yeah.
And, he did stuff with Willie Cauley and Cat and even Kevin Durant and Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis.
Dude,
Yeah, I mean, he's
sitting
done
next
things
to
with
Giannis
everybody.
and being like, guess these guys, they have hoods on their face. But
Exactly.
guess who it
I
is?
mean, they'll
and then Trevor
pull these
Ariza
NBA
just comes
players
out
for
and
like
go,
the most random content.
And
It's awesome, though. But let's look at him as a little less more, on that personal level.
All I'm getting at, though, is like the fact that he is stooping down but not stooping down. But as La Familia continues to grow, having someone with this much influence and social media impact,
for sure,
someone who's probably going to like vlog a whole practice and just like toss
this
it up
will
on
be
YouTube.
definitely on his
It's
YouTube,
cool,
and so it'll be really cool,
awesome
to see it. And he's no chump change. I mean,
it's good for the brand.
He's also 6'2", 220, and he's a bucket, man.
I think he can play.
He's a hooper
because
he'll get maybe 5 minutes off the bench a game, but
who knows?
Who knows?
Because I think there's a lot of, we'll call them out, but there's a lot of old people who are like, who is this kid?
Yeah, of course.
He's taking minutes from the Cats.
You
know what? He is.
Of course, man.
And I'm kind of in that same boat where obviously I think play the Kentucky players first.
Of course.
But I'm telling you, Jester could very easily win the hearts of some people if he goes out there and bangs a couple threes and is able to like get the kids hype. It'll just translate to everybody. So this is a great move rather than a bad move, especially off the court, but on the court as well. And I'm biased, but I'll support Jester. He can play. He can give you valuable minutes.
Yeah.
He ain't stealing no shine from nobody.
Yeah, and I guess just real quick before we wrap it up, I will say is I do agree a lot with the fact that he is going to help grow La Familia as a brand, like to heights that you would never realize. I mean,
like he did an all-star vlog where he met LeBron and talked to Kyrie one-on-one, and it has 100 million views.
Yeah.
That's crazy numbers.
This is
La Familia is on the map after this.
This is a little blurb here from a story. But I mean, obviously, it says here, Jester will not be part of the team's activities, including practice. He will be part of the activities, including practice. His role is not primarily focused on being the reason to win or lose games, obviously. But the team plans to utilize his content creation skills to produce behind-the-scenes content. So I do think it will be really cool to get, all right, well, maybe we'll get a vlog when Pope's team practices against La Familia.
And what a world, right?
What a world where you can go on YouTube and look up, Jester the Laser, and get a video of him practicing. I mean, it's going to be awesome.
We'll toss some pictures, but like this is a transgression of our entire childhood being thrown into our media field. And you can imagine this is like The Rock playing baseball for the Yankees in the 90s, and that's like our little comparison of it.
When Will Ferrell got on the pitcher's mound or whatever, for the Dodgers.
It's just cool. Like,
yeah,
it's one of those things. Like you look at your phone, you're like, am I high right now? Did I read this right? It's like Jasper.
What? The YouTuber joining La Familia?
Yeah, and I mean, I know we were going back to Tawani, and he told us there would be more.
He did. Tristan
even said there will be more, but I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this. Regardless, really excited.
Should they add Flight? Is Flight next?
Flight's not in June. We talked about this yesterday. Yeah. The tournament's not in June, so Flight can't be in it. Sorry to break it to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching and listening to another episode of the Bluegrass Breakdown. Make sure to check out our website. It's kyinsider.com. It's so easy. kyinsider.com.
kyinsider.com.
We have crazy good stories, good insight on literally everything Kentucky that you can imagine, and KY Insider on all the socials too. We kept it simple for everybody. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. What else am I missing? Literally everything. Literally everything is just KY Insider. Check us out.
Yep.
Daily content on Kentucky, men's basketball to baseball to football. It ranges everywhere. We throw some softball stuff in there when it's time. And, man, we got everything for everybody. So make sure to check us out at KY Insider. make sure to tune in for new episodes every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Other than that, we'll see you all next week.